Hey, what is up everyone? Welcome back to this video. Today in this video, we'll be recapping all the things you guys learned in this course. This video is made in such a way that you guys will be able to follow along with me as I go. Meaning I'll be going very slowly. You guys can actually practice along with me. You guys can follow along with me. You don't have to pause the video and then type it. You guys don't have to do that. I'll be going very slowly so that you guys can practice along with me. So let's start. The first thing which I want you to do is create a folder on our desktop. Here I will create a new folder and I will rename it as HTML. Let's turn off my caps lock. I will rename it as HTML recap. All right, there we have created our HTML folder. Inside this folder, I'm going to create a new text edit file. So here I will, inside my desktop, I will create inside our HTML recap, I will create a new document, and there we go. Let's close this for now. All right, here in this HTML document, let's also save it as, I will save this as HTML recap.html. All right, let's save this. Use the extension .html. All right, now let's increase the font size a bit so that you guys can actually see it. And also I will be opening up the this page on a browser. Navigate to the desktop and navigate to the HTML recap. Right click, open with Google Chrome. It just opened up on my news and the screen, so I'll bring this in on the screen. All right, let's start. The first thing which we learned in this course is creating up our HTML structure, document structure. So let's define it. It starts with HTML5 starts with doc type. This basically says that which version of HTML we are using. So this is what we need to specify since we are using HTML5. Right after this, defining the idoc type HTML, we'll be opening up our root HTML element. Let's open up our root HTML element. This is going to be our HTML document. Make sure you also close all the tags. Don't forget to close all the tags. It's very important. So right after, inside our HTML, we'll be having an head tag. This head tag contains all the information about our web page. For example, it can contain title, it can contain meta description, which you will be learning a lot in the advanced HTML video. So don't worry about that. So here I will define a head tag. Let's also close up the head tag. So inside our head tag, let's define our title tag. This title is going to be displayed on this tab over here. So basically that's going to be our main title of our website. So let's also close up the title tag. Here I will say HTML recap. Let's save this and refresh. As you can see, there we have our title. So that's it for the head tag. For now, let's define our body tag. Let's open up our body tag, body opening tag, body closing tag. So this basically means that whatever we type inside our body tag, it will be displayed on the HTML web page. So this is the main content area where we can build up our website on. So first thing which I'll be defining, showcasing here is we learned about various heading levels, right, from H1 to H6. So let's say here, let's define an H1 tag saying my first web page. Let's close up the H1 tag. Let's save it, refresh the web page. As you can see, there we have our H1 heading. H1 is going to be the biggest, H6 is going to be the smallest one. There is no H7, H8, it ends at the H6, only 6 levels of heading. All right, right after this, let's use an H2 tag. So let's add a question what this is. All right, let's save this, refresh. As you can see, h2 tag is smaller than h1. So this is what level, these are the levels of HTML. Now right after this h2, this is the question, right? Now we need to give an answer for that. Here I will define a paragraph. Inside the paragraph, let's also close the paragraph. I will say a simple HTML document put together using various HTML tags and elements. Basically that's just that's the answer for it. So we also learned about various text formatting tags. Those are for example em, which stands for emphasize. When we wrap this document inside a em tag, it's going to be turned into italic. As you can see, the document is now turned to italic. For example, if I want to highlight some word, for example, let's highlight let's say HTML here. We can wrap it around a strong tag, which basically makes the word around it bold. As you can see, now HTML is bold. So that's those are two formatting HTML tags. Now let's talk about we learned about unordered list and ordered list, right? So let's also define those. We'll define another question s2. Here I will add why this is, why am I doing this, right? And the answer for this is going to be a list. The way we can define list is using, first let's talk about unordered list. Let's close up the unordered list. Inside we can define our list items. Here I will say list item, which is displayed using li tag. Here I'll say to learn HTML. Let's close up the li tag. This is our first list item. In the second list item, let's define list item to show off. Let's close up the HTML list item. And the third one is going to be I love HTML. Let's close up the li element. There we go. There we have created our unordered list. All right. Now let's talk about ordered list. So right inside our list, unordered list, we will be defining our ordered list. You can also define ordered list separately, but in this video we'll be nesting unordered list and an ordered list. So let's do that. Inside our list items to show off, I'll be adding an ordered list. Let's define an ordered list. Let's close up the ordered list. Inside this ordered list, let's define our list items. So the first list item is going to be to show off to my boss. Let's define let's add some space. So the next one is going to be for to my friends, and the third one is going to be for to my cats. All right, now let's save this and check. As you can see, there we have our ordered list. So next thing which we will be talking about is how we can add links. All right. So right after where we have our unordered list, let's make some space. So right after our unordered list, we'll be creating our links. So here I will define an s2 where to find this tutorial. Let's close up the s2. Answer for this is going to be a link. So the links can be defined using a tag called as a anchor tag, which stands for anchor tag, which is going to have a href, which is going to be the destination where it is going to take us. Let's close up the anchor tag. Here I will say, here I'll be linking my YouTube channel. So let's add the future coders. Let's open up YouTube. Let's search for future coders. I'll be copying up my YouTube link and I'll be pasting it inside over here. All right, let's save this and check. As you can see, there we have our link. When I click on it, it's going to take me to my YouTube channel. So that's about an absolute URL, because that is gonna take me to my that is taking me to another page on the internet. So what if I had another page on my server and I want to link to it? So we can do that by using an anchor tag. Let's define s2. Let's say how to contact me. Here I'll be adding an anchor tag, the href, which is going to be a link, which is going to be a destination. Let's close up the anchor tag. Here I will say click here to contact me. All right, now let's create, inside our desktop, inside our HTML recap, what I'm going to do is I'm going to create a new folder called pages. Inside this, I'm going to create a new text file. I'm going to say file, new. Let's save this as, this is going to be inside our pages, and the name of this is going to be contact-us.html. Let's save this. Use the extension .html. Alright, there we have created our new HTML page, contact us. Let's make this a bigger. Alright, here I will be talking about forms here. So let's create a form. Before that, we need to add our HTML web structure. So here I will say doc type HTML. Let's define the HTML root element. Let's add our head tag. Inside our head tag, there will be a title tag, right? So let's define our title tag here. Inside our title tag, I will be adding the contact us. Let's open up this in our browser. All right, here we have our blank page. All right, here right after our head tag, we will be having a body tag. Let's close up the body tag. Inside the body tag, let's define our first. I'll be defining an s2, contact me s2. All right, here I'll be opening up a form element. Let's close up the form. As you learned, the form is going to take two attributes. One is going to be the action, which is going to be a link to a HTML servers. Let's say process data.php, and another one is going to be for the method. In our case, since we are sending data to a server, it will be a post. Right, inside our form, let's add let's make some space around here. All right, inside the form, I will be adding a paragraph, which will say, first thing which it will ask is the name, and here I will define an input of type text, and the name is going to be for the name, and let's also add a placeholder. Enter your name. Let's close up the input tag. All right, now let's save this and check. As you can see, there we have our contact us page. I'm going to copy this, and here I will be showing you under input type. Let's say I want to ask about the user's email. We can use type email, and here you can say email. Placeholder is going to be enter your email. Let's save this and check. Alright, there we have our email field. Now let's add another paragraph saying message. For the message, let's say let's define a text area. Let's close up the text area. Let's add a name. It's going to be for the message. Let's add calls. First add rows. Rows is going to be 5. Let's add calls. It's going to be 20. Let's also add, it's going to be 20. Let's also add placeholder. Placeholder is going to be enter your message. Let's save this and check. As you can see, there we have our message field. Now the last thing which is going to be is input of type submit. Okay, let's close up our input element. All right, there we have our submit button over here. But now when I click on this, as you can see, it's going to say not access. That's because it's trying to send the data to the process.php, which it doesn't exist. All right, let's leave it like that. As you can see, we have covered up the form. Now let's coming back to our main web page. We were talking about how we can add a relative or a link, right? So here I want to link to my contact us page. As you can see, it is having an HTML recap. It's inside a pages folder and contact us.html. So here previously what I defined is I just contact us.html, right? So what happens when I click on it? When I click, let's refresh. As you can see, it doesn't take me to anywhere, right? So that's because the page we are accessing is actually inside a folder called as pages. So that the path needs to be specified correctly. First we'll say pages, head inside the pages, and then look for the contact us.html. So let's refresh. Let's click on this. As you can see, now it takes me to the contact us.html. This is very important, guys. Whenever you create some folder and put the page inside your folder, you need to specify the correct path. You need to tell where to look for the page. So in our case, it's inside the pages, and we want to render the page called as contact us.html. So that's it about links. Now let's talk about images, how you can insert images. Here I will say, let's add an image tag. Image tag, as you already learned, that image tag is going to take a source attribute, which is going to be simply a source where it needs to be rendered. All right, the source link is going to be the image that will be rendered. We need to specify where the image should be loaded from. In our case, let's head over to Google Images. I'm going to search for HTML logo. Let's use this HTML logo. Let's open up the image in new tab. Let's copy this link first. The source, I will add it as source, and we can also define an alt attribute. inside the alt, we need to specify the alternate description for this video. Suppose if the video like fails to render, so for some reason, we need to like provide an alternate description, like what was the image about. So here I will say HTML logo, and we also need to define a width and height attribute, so that we can control the height, width and height of the image. By default the image is going to be like in its original size. We need to like control it, so width and height set to 100 pixels. All right, as you can see there, we have our HTML image and a logo, HTML image logo. Suppose like if I like if I like remove something, now the link is broken, right? Now let's save this and check. As you can see, the image failed to render. In place of the image, it's going to say an alternate description. Whenever the user comes in and for some reason your image fails to load, still he can make out about like what the image is about. Here in this case, it's about HTML logo. All right, that's it about HTML. That's it about image. How we can define it relatively. Now let's talk about how we can use the image which is downloaded from the internet, and we want to load it from our computer. So here let's save this image inside our desktop. Let's create inside our HTML recap, let's create a new folder. New folder is going to be for the images. Let's create it. Inside I'm going to define, let's save it as HTML logo. All right, let's save this. As you can see, now the image is downloaded, and actually now it's inside a folder called as images. As you can see there, we have our image. Make sure you are putting all the things in the same directory, guys. All right, now let's minimize this for now. Let's copy this. I'm going to paste it one more time here. All right, instead of this link, providing this link, let's fix this logo, guys. I broke the link, right? Okay, now it's fixed. So instead of like displaying it from an URL, now the image is downloaded. Remember guys, we need to specify the correct path. So now in our case, it's inside of the images folder, and so inside the images folder we are looking for HTML logo.png. Now let's save this. As you can see there, we have our image being loaded from our local computer. So that's it for the links. And now let's talk about how we let's recap about tables. So right after our image, let's define our table tag. Let's open up our table tag. Let's close up our table tag. Inside our table tag, we need to define our table row. Here I will say table row. Inside, let's close up the table row. First, we need to specify the columns, column names which we need to render. Here I will say table head. Head of the table is going to be a col1. Here I will say table head col2. Okay, let's actually use a real world example, guys. The column 1 is going to be for the name. The column 2 is going to be for subject. Let's define as a random subject. All right, now for the third one, let's define the third one. Let's say hobbies. Let's name it as favorite animal. All right, now let's save this. All right, there we have our 3 columns. Now we need to add another row for the table data. Here I'll say table row. Inside our table row, we will be defining a table data. The first table data is going to be for the name, right? So I will define say John Doe. And the next table data is going to be for the subject. Let's say subject is HTML. and the next one is going to be table data for the any favorite animal. So let's say cat. All right, now let's save this and check. As you can see, there we have our HTML table with one row, guys. Now let's add one more row. This is going to be for Jane Doe, and our favorite subject is going to be CSS, and our favorite animal is going to be dog. Now let's save this and check. As you can see, there we have two rows with data and one row for the headings of the columns. Now if I want to like add a border around the table, I'll say border, the thickness of the border should be like 1. Let's save this and check. As you can see, there we have our table border. That's it. Basically, that's it for the recap. As you can see, we have covered all the things that we learned in our HTML course. So now in the next video, we'll be talking about some advanced concepts of HTML which you guys need to know. So that's it for this video. Hope you guys enjoyed and hope you guys were able to follow along with me. Make sure you get the practice by building some basic things with these tags. So that's it for this video. Hope you guys enjoyed. If you haven't liked the video, please make sure you hit that like button and don't forget to subscribe to my channel, and I will see you in the next one. Thank you for watching.